Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I am the Mystic Wolfie with Jesus with a very oh, you better not shit on me. Is it on? No. Welcome back. In this video, this will be quite different actually, because if you're not aware, I am working on my remake of the story of the Mystic Wolfie, my original story that I created originally, that I'm remaking now in 2 parts. It's a 2-parter, so 1 part and then a 2nd part afterwards. In the original version of that, it was meant to be 3 parts, and I finished the 1st part originally, and I was like, I got so much work done in part 2, and I couldn't do it. I couldn't get through. It was stressful. It was overwhelming. I couldn't figure out how I could structure the story properly. And in this video, I want to break down that full animation verbally, because keep checking, because he sometimes does it for like a defense purposes thing. And I want to bring him in because in my original breakdown, the story of the Mystic Wolfie, I'll get into that in a minute of why I think it, but I brought him in because in the last video, in the first ever breakdown, which was part 1 of that story, I had him in. So it's been a few years. I thought I'd bring him back for a little bit. I put him back in a bit, but he can get a bit annoying a bit. But he recently shedded, so I've had him for about 7 years. He's 7 years old now, so I've had him since school, since like year 10, year 11. So he has been around for quite a long time. So it's still got a lot of years left in him though. Kind of up to about 20 odd years or something. So he's got around, I don't want to say it, but he's got a lot of years left. So it's a milk snake. That's alright. Just shedded. So yeah. So let's get into it. I don't want to keep it too long, guys. If you like the content, please like, subscribe, check out the other breakdown creation videos and reviews in the playlist section. I do side content, so check that out. If you like anything you see, please join the pack. I always like seeing newcomers. I love interacting with you guys, and it's a nice little community over here. It's really hot in here, by the way. It's like so bloody hot. Get a drink of water. So, the story of the Mystic Wolfie is a quick recap of why I made that story to begin with, before we dive into part 2's breakdown. I wanted to choose a YouTube name that was going to be rememberable, easy to remember, to recognise, to use permanently for like to stand out on YouTube. You want to stand out in your own unique way online and social media. If you want to make it. I'm nowhere. I'm nobody. I'm one of those people among millions trying to get the same position as so many, like so few that have actually made it in life through social media. There are ways that work in a nice way, some a little bit 18 plus, which is very, very disturbing, and it's this world today. It's this modern. I'm not going to get into that sort of thing, but there's loads of ways you can try and be noticed. And my way was to create a story around my very name. Mystic Wolfie. And it wasn't meant to be Minecraft. But then I started thinking about, well, how am I going to... What characters are there going to be in it? What purpose? And how is it going to make sense to my YouTube name being the origin of a avatar character that has the same name and is basically me in real life with the real name? Does that make any sense? So I wanted to use my YouTube name of like an origin. So it's like an origin to the name on the channel, but it's got a storyline to it, and the name of the channel is, it's like a mini story basically to the name of the channel name. My name, Mystic Wolfie, so it's like a mini story of how that name is. So I made my avatar character, which is Wolf. It's a wolf, a werewolf, a humanoid wolf. So I thought, well, I've got the avatar, I've got my wolf character as my avatar, I've got my name, let's try and make some out of that and create a story. So it's a story of the Mystic Wolfie. And I thought, well, I did a lot of Minecraft content. I thought, well, let's relate it to what's working right now with Minecraft. And I started looking at Minecraft creations and animations. I thought that looked pretty cool. And I thought of like mystical things like magic, things like that, ancient abilities, you know, to link it through and make sense. And I don't, you know, you don't have, it doesn't have to be 3D animation. I've mentioned this many times. It can be 2D, 3D, whatever, and any tone, any world, any universe of my choosing or creating. I chose Minecraft because it's popular. It's easy to recognise. It's a challenge as well. How am I going to make my story in a world that's really popular, really beloved, and still make it unique and different? And I think I'm nailing it right now as this recording, as I'm doing a remake of part 1. I'm starting to realise what I'm stepping into after each segment that I do. It's like, this is going into unknown territory right now. It's my biggest project to date, and part 2 were just as challenging and just as big. So, that being said, the story part 1, original animation, was uploaded about 2 or so years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, and I broke it down. I didn't actually include any video footage because I just broke it down in segments on timestamps of what characters, what's the purpose, how to come up with the story, what's the abilities of the villain, what's Cortan's motive, what's his reasoning, and all that. So in this video, we are going to dive into that very same like that kind of style, because part 2 is unfinished. It's not a finished animation. It's got rough animation. I might show clips as I'm talking about it, but I'm not going to do a full-on reaction. It's more of a breakdown and discussion about it. So, if you're still here, thank you very much. And I'll try and make this section of the video shorter so you can get on with your day and enjoy your day. Okay guys, so part 2 of Mystic Wolfie was kind of a filler in many ways. I wanted a purpose for the characters I made using in-game characters. So a witch, villagers, Steve, Alex, they're already in the game by Mojang and they made them, but I gave them personalities, I gave them backstories, I gave them the like a unique feel about them, a unique purpose, something that not many creators, if none, really dive into. So yes, they are common characters, but they're unique characters through my vision, and therefore they are my creations by my thought process, my mindset, my vision, and how I think of them being who they are. The witch, his name's Carl. They've got names, got personalities, backstories, purpose, everything is technically a different character skinned with the Minecraft characters that are available in that universe. Therefore, I could use all those characters and personalities in a different universe, or my own unique universe, with my own unique storyline and villain. The villain is my own unique character. He's the only one really that is different, that doesn't really belong in that world, although he fits in that world because he's got skin, he interacts with everyone else. So, and also my avatar character, Mystic Wolfie, who will be to be coming after the section of 1, 2, 3 complete. It's like a 3-parter of his whole story of my avatar character for the channel. So the villain and the hero, the Wolfie, they're my unique characters, they're my own creation of characters. The rest are my own take, my own vision, my own everything, skinned over the basic of the in-game variants, in a sense. So, part 2, I wanted to give them a reason to go on a little journey beforehand. Many films these days, and in the past, every idea you think of is from a previous thing you've watched, seen, or been a part of, or been or dreamt about. Anything that you think of has already been done in a certain way. You're taking it and making it unique and different and fresh and inspiring and doing everything you can to make it your own and different. So I wanted to do all that, but involve them in the main in-game bosses. So we've got the Wither boss, going to the Nether, collecting blaze rods, and I wanted to have Carl the knowledge of these different realms just at the back of his mind, to give him that more knowledge about things. And the wolf and the character, the Wolfie, Mr. Wolfie, to my character, to say me at this point, because it's going to be me, my own voice, this voice coming out of his mouth. It's basically me, but not at the same. Anyway, yeah, I wanted to give those two a journey to go on. So we're going to go fight with the boss, collect blaze rods. The Wither boss fight was a little bit rough. It wasn't in the Nether. It was unfinished. The whole animation was done, and back then my animation was already at its peak. But that was a few years ago. I was still new at the program. It's really rough compared to now and to now standards. But the structure of it was really good. I had a really solid fight scene with him, with the Wolfie and Carl, and with the boss fight scene. It was really, really action packed. So yeah, unfortunately, it couldn't make it to the final version with the background and everything. And I had it all in my head. You know, with the boss, everything. There would be a fight all the way around the Nether. Like, camera were going to follow the flying around the different areas of the Nether, and it'll be a real. It'd be so great in the vision I had, but I couldn't put it on in there. There's what I wanted it to be. So that kind of annoyed me. But then after that section, it cut. It was meant to be a section in between the nether and the end, and it was involving the cloak. But I didn't want to put it in just then. It was going to be after the nether, after the end, after defeating the Ender Dragon. And I got a storyboard for both the nether and the end. Little sketches of what I think the scenes are going to play like. And I didn't finish the end. I nearly did it. It overwhelmed me. It's too much. No, it's not cricket. It was a good scene. It was a good fight scene though. It was really creative. I got a bit mental. Got a bit silly. It didn't really work. And then the Wither boss. The warden was meant. That was going to be an introduction scene of the villagers fighting the warden. Hear me out. Because in the game of Minecraft, you can block the warden by blocks, shoot him from far away with arrows and TNT, and kill him in a strategist way, instead of brute force with high-end weapons, armor. He's a blind mob, so you can try and play him and outsmart him in many ways you can. And that was meant to be cool. I want to involve some Iron Goblins fighting now with the boss, the warden. So that was my vision. I've got a rig of the warden. So what I'm going to do now is, in the remake of Part 2, skim all of that in still images, but rotate as I'm rotating around the camera. So the camera's rotating around each scene like this. So one section here of the Wither boss fight, middle bit here, the camera's still rotating through. So that'll be the Ender Dragon and the End Warden. So camera real time turning 3 villains. Just quickly sketching through them all, to say that they have gone on those journeys already, and have that experience. And after all those bosses have been defeated, they were meant to be, right, let's get back to the story. And it was going to be like, right, back at Carl's house, what are we going to do now then? There's a big surprise for you in the forest, in the lands, in the jungle. I'll meet you there in about half an hour. Something like that. I think that's what he said to the wolf. And he was alright, let's go. And this was meant to play out like a training session, a last minute training session between the witch and the wolf character, as like the final test to prove himself of being the one to wear the cloak, the mystic cloak. And after that sequence, the witch was going to show him the cloak and tell him all the backstory between Colton and Carl's fallout, the reasoning why Colton was so motivated in the first part to want that thing, jealousy, everything was explained in flashback scenes of how Carl and Colton met, everything. And that it was painted as if like, I won't say too much because it's going to be in part 2 of the remake, but I'll leave it there. I nearly gave it away, but I'm not probably. I'm only saying what was in that part originally, but I put a lot of thought into it now. A few years later, I really fleshed it out, because I'm going to save a lot of it to when you actually see it, which I don't know when that'll be, because I'm still making part 1 of this recording, and it's going okay, but I'm still a lot of it to do. So yeah, and after that, it was meant to cut to a little teaser at the very end of Colton coming out of the water many years later and ending there. Then part 3 we're gonna carry on where that left off and then go into finale, which is now part 2 remake. So the original part 3, the ending, is now going to be part 2 in the remake. So that's just a two-parter. So I'm going to skip out part 3, the original part 2 originally, and just skim all over those main villains in like a section thing, and go straight to part 2, 3. So that makes no sense, but it's okay, it's already here, I've got it mapped out. So I know it might sound gibberish, I know it might sound ridiculous and confusing, but it's really not confusing. It's easy to say that, but it really is right now. I've already got it locked in, loaded, so it's okay. I've already thought about all this stuff. Just getting it on there, getting it done to best as quality as I can, and hopefully results shine. So yeah. So is there anything else to say about this now? Well, I right now am motivated for 2 reasons. Well, 3, but one is you guys. If it wasn't for you guys still watching my content, I wouldn't be doing it. I do this for you. Enjoyment, of course, of myself. But it's really, really time consuming doing animations like this on this scale. This is the biggest project I have ever done, and probably will be for a long time. It takes a lot of free time, a lot of thought, a lot of planning, a lot of blood, sweat and tears, months, days goes into this. A lot of people involved in this, and it's very, very difficult to craft, think, put it to animation, film, edit, sound effects, voice acting, everything in the remake, of course, I'm talking about now, is very difficult. But I've seen some segments that I've made, and it's really, really good. It's really good. My vision is finally coming true. The vision of the remake is what the original was meant to be. So, and that's why I do remakes of previous work, to give that original vision there. So, yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I really hope to answer any questions that you may have wanted to hear. Let's see if I can think of anything on top of my head real quick before we leave. I mean, the house in the Nether, I wanted to include a house because it's not often really that anyone, or myself, builds a house in the Nether. So I thought, well, let's build a house in the Nether, let's put them in a house and all that, a little interaction. But I'm really happy now that I'm sticking to 2 parts, because it's so much simpler. I can focus more on my own story rather than filler content. I can just skim over that in little sections now, and it's less stress on me. I'm like, I think on quality over quantity. So, yeah, I think that's about it then, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Check out the other breakdown videos. Until then,